Alright, boys, gonna be going over. I'm just picking random stuff, but I want you guys to work on basically laning phase uh, a lot more. So I'm just gonna be grabbing random games, whether it's from an actual match or solo queue, and just doing a little review of it. It won't be more than the probably first 6 to 7 levels worth, so they'll be relatively shorter videos than the main VOD reviews. This is something Alex had requested, and it's a good idea to just kind of talk to you guys more than just the full team perspective. We need you guys, to grow individually as well, so you can understand a lot more about the game. So his matchup in this game is Fiora versus Aurelia, in which I believe Fiora wins the first level. So this is just a question to you. I don't actually know the answer to this, Alex. Have you ever ran in losing matchups Doran Shield instead of um, the corrupting pot? And the only reason I'm asking that because if you end up trading, the only way for you to gain hit points back in this matchup is your life steal that you get from I believe it's your W, if I'm not mistaken. It's your Q. I'm sorry. So that means you're going to be pushing the wave, though, is my point. And this, I know it is a certain thing that I see a lot from you is the wave is always end up pushing towards their side, and you're just leaving yourself a lot more in position for being ganked. So we're just gonna watch. And like right now, you're only doing your base regen right now. You can't go up for the farm either. This is why I was asking about the Dorn Shield or maybe even the Dorn's Blade. But Dorn's Blade to get your health back too, you still have to auto attack, which means you're pushing the wave. So in bad matchups, just curious if you've tried the Dorn Shields. I know it feels like you're being a pussy, but it doesn't matter if you're in a situation where the other champion beats you in the early levels. And now at this point as well, you're getting a gank right now. But what I was going to talk about, we'll talk about it now anyway, is the wave is pushing to you. So the best place for you to basically freeze it if you can get the minions is where this flower is if this is the line between them basically. Because now they're hard they're in a really bad spot for an actual gank. Obviously Karthus is not a heavy ganking jungler by any means, but instead of thinning the wave as early as you did, you could have slowed down just a little bit to try to get it to be where this is, because it's still a little bit ahead of it. But this is just the absolute. This is like their uncomfortable zone, because when they have to hit CS, they're coming across the halfway point of this big wall, and it makes so many of the heavy ganking junglers. It makes it a lot easier for them to actually get in here and help you out. So, okay, let's watch your gank here. Good job on your stun. Okay. And then right there, you should stop. Just stop. You end up taking a turret shot too. So take the win when you get it. You don't have to keep going for more. Because you would have been. Let's go back and actually look at the hit points here. What your hit points would have been compared to his. That's good. As soon as you start fighting, you're drinking your corrupting potion. Now that's smart. She should have been drinking hers already. So this is where it should end. So should be at 330 or 83, and you should be at 474. So you should have a fairly large advantage. Plus your potion is still ticking. But since you take, oh, I'm sorry, he got a Q on her, so 234. So now you're at, I can't read if that's an 8 or a 3. 383 it looks like. So it was a good stun by you and gank from a level 3 Karthus, which was really surprising. And again, let's see what you do. Oops. So you see their Kahneman's full health. Yours is about to die, so it's going to be pushing back to you. This is your target. This is where you want this this space right here is where you want this to be. You should just slow down on pushing it back. So now they have 1 minion advantage. So they have 1 extra casters, 2 extra casters, 3 melee, yeah, and 4 casters. So it's still pushing back to you. So this is perfect right here. You could even have stopped now, and it's still going to push towards you. Yeah, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So that you actually would have been perfectly fine what you were doing if you stopped right here, because it's still going to slowly push back towards you. So this is a question for you. Why are we hard shoving um, right now? Why aren't we forcing her to stay on our side of the lane? Because now it's pushing back towards her no matter what happens here. It's pushing on their side of the map, and you don't have a ward. Your ward is expired because you put it down here. So now this is exactly what your bad habit is you're pushing the wave on their side of the lane, and now you don't have a ward. So you're not thinking about where the jungler could be. It's only 323. If we know that he started on the bottom side of the map, chances are he's in this general area on your side of the map. So you got to really think about that stuff more. Because no matter what happens in this trade, like the wave is now pushing to her side. Oh shit. So instead of you having an advantage in the lane, like you already had CS lead, like say you didn't push as many as you did, like 2 or 3 less, so it still pushes towards you, you're still winning and it's pushing your side. She's at a disadvantage to you in the sense of positioning in the lane. A, that information. B, you don't have a heavy ganking juggler. I know you just got a gank from the Karthus, but he generally doesn't gank hardly at all. He's just a farm. Master Yi farms a lot too, but he's a lot stronger in the um, form of ganking because he can make outplays with his Q. Karthus is just a fucking walking statue. So now look that now this wave is shoving towards his side now too. He should literally just be going to base and letting this shove towards his side of the. Yep. And Karthus showed up anyway. And this is honestly the right move by Karthus. It may not feel like it, but he's resetting your wave for you. Because this should crash into the turret before these minions get there. So it probably felt shitty, but it was the right thing for him to do. Because otherwise it was going to be slow pushing, and she may have been able to teleport and then freeze it basically on this side. It's going to be on her side a little bit still. I believe it's pushing to your side extremely small margin, but the fact that she's also last hitting before you're here too is going to push it. So see, so what he did ended up helping you out because the wave should be pushing back towards you. Barely, but it is. But this is where you really need to learn more about wave management, and just anytime you get, especially when you're on Aurelia, because you're really good at the champ, but you need to really learn more about matchups too, just in general. Because if you're playing versus a player that's as skilled as you and they have a better champion, it doesn't matter how good you are on this, they'll be able to beat you if it's a better matchup. And see how it's slowly pushing back towards you, but you're being zoned out right now because of everything that happened that led up to this. So this is, again, this is going to start shoving back to your side, which is what we want. And this is where we want it to push to. A lot of um, a lot of this is going to make it to you. So you can still be safe even though you're down 10 CS now. You only missed out on one of that, it looks like. So now what you can do too is you need to pay attention to where your minions are. This is wave management. Another way to wave management. I know Karthus is here too, so I hope he doesn't try to gank. This is something central you need to pay attention to too. You do not want to gank when he has this much experience on the board because he needs to get this experience. The only way that I would agree with it if this person is really low and doesn't have flash, like half health and lower, or doesn't have flash. Otherwise, you're really risking him missing a lot. So wave management here though is you can do what you're doing right now, but you can also pull the minions down this way. So you just literally stand this way and you pull them so that these front ones meet, but the back ones is what you basically get to stop. So it'll actually pull them this way more, so these are positioned basically closer to this side of the wall, and these melees would follow you to this point, and then they would meet this. And then you can start thinning it out so it freezes right here basically um, at your advantage. So no matter what, you're going to have 2 melees and 3 casters. So that's what you need to pay attention to. You're going to have, so that's what you want it to be on this side too. So you should, after you kill this one, you should stop. You actually probably should have left this one a little longer. Because you want it to freeze here now. Because she can beat you one versus one. Probably, you might be able to beat her at 6, but until 6. But see, now it's going to push back to her because you thinned it out way too fast already. So you have to really pay attention to, it may stay here because this Kanan's healthier than this one, but they have an extra, you have an extra minion now. Smacking it. And look, she's now going to want to try to shove it on you, but this should make this easier for you. But see, since we thinned it out, it's going back to her side no matter what. Because you have two casters for her and you have 4. And this is the worst position now in the world for you because you did it too much again. So it's literally, it's just, you're going to end up probably, man, you're going to be in a really bad spot again. I bet you money if she doesn't last hit anything, especially since she's stronger than you, she can still stay up here and last hit. I bet you money this ends up like right around here. See, this is, Karthus just got information too, so just talking about stuff more on like the bigger picture. He already went and denied this, but he could at least come up here. Like this is the communication that you and Central need to have. This is such a small detail, but it would really help you out at this point, no matter what, is if he came up here and literally just helped reset the lane again, because you keep pushing way too much. So he's gonna come gank, which is great. Hopefully you guys get it. That was a good, really good block by her. Nice. Even better. She has it warded. I'm really surprised that she just didn't notice it. Let's look. This is just a really poor job by her awareness here. There's the dragon. Oh, stop, stop, stop. So when you play, and the reason why I'm stopping, she literally gets vision of him right now. There's no way that this gank should work. She should easily be able to escape, especially with having flash. But it literally should then be communication that you and Central, like say this is our game, is you need to tell him this wave is going to get stuck. I need you to help reset the lane. And he already went and denied the Yee's jungle as a small trade back for them getting dragon, but at least it'll help you in the lane. But this is just lack of awareness. She literally didn't know Karthus was here until he's on this wall. He's one of the slowest moving fucking people in the whole world. And she had him warded. But just think about that kind of stuff. This guy's good at hitting his Qs. He's hit a bunch of them. Okay. Unfortunately, you didn't get that kill though, which would have been really helpful. But you got the CS lead now. We're denying her a ton of experience in gold now because she doesn't have teleport, so she just has to. This is really good awareness by you. Wow, I just literally walked right out of that. That's the thing that we talk about a lot, is us chasing. You have to know where, like, back timers and stuff like that. I don't think she showed on there, did she? We just have to know, like, let's see if she actually shows. I don't think so. No, she didn't. But you have to know, like, back timers. And if he got away straight from your ult, you should literally just be leaving, backing out this way, because you have to realize that this is gonna be 1 versus 2, and now you don't have your ult either. Like, this is just chasing that I talk about all the time with you guys. We don't want to do this shit, and it costs you everything pretty much. And on top of that, it gave the mid laner a kill too. And now you're gonna TP back. We could still have TP advantage. All this, like, just same thing again. Wave management right here. You can kill, like, kill these, but you should drag it down this way first, so the positioning of this gets frozen a little bit further back. And again, you're literally resetting the lane again here, and you're at a disadvantage. Like, she still beats you. Why does this keep resetting? You have team at, maybe you can beat her. I don't think so, because of her ult. She still has her ult, which she does. Nice, you outplayed her. I'm assuming you knew you beat her because you had team at though, so that was good. But going back to the wave management part, you don't have to do this every time that your wave hits here. Literally just walk your ass down, like, grab the aggro of the melees and walk it down this way. If she's not there, you could also walk it to here. This is the best way, but this is safer. If she leaves the lane like this, then you can walk it to this bush. So you basically grab the aggro, then stand just right in the corner. You stand right in the bush right as these minions come across, and it'll stop them right around here. So if you know you can beat her too at this point, you can literally keep this wave on your side of the map though. I would have understood if you were doing that if you were about to hit level 7, like off that creep. You almost did actually, so maybe that's what your thinking was. You hit 7. So maybe that's what it was then. You probably were paying attention to you were about to hit level 7 ahead of her, which is really smart on your part. Fuck the stupid thing. So that's really good awareness by you. But just going back to the wave management stuff, it's just something you can do to give yourself some type of advantage, especially when you're at a point, obviously right now since you're way up on CS, so you got to finish your team out first, that you could kill her, but you can still literally do this and then just deny her, basically. Now you got the kill, you know she doesn't have TP still, this should be a plate for you. And you guys should know the back timings, or the amount of time it takes to run from base to um, your lane is like, I think it's like 25 seconds, something like that, without boots. So let's see when she starts. 45 after, we'll say, because it's going double time. 15. Yeah, so it's about 25 seconds back to lane with no boots. Like the average person. She has 345, which I think is the most common move speed in the game. It's either 335 or 345. So it takes 20 to 25 seconds depending on their movement speed, or 20 to 30 seconds in that range. So if you knew that already, it was good that you knew that you can get that second plate as well. So um, so the biggest problem in lane, as far as I've seen in all of our games, is your wave management, and then basically taking fights um, when you shouldn't. And this is another part of wave management right here. You know that you have the advantage on her insanely right now. This is pushing back towards you. You should last hit this one and then let this shit push towards you, because she's fucked. Like, she's literally fucked. If she shows middle or on a ward like towards middle, then you can hard shove because you can get the turret. But doing this is helping her. This is actually helping her because she can't fight you at all right now. So you should be really challenging her to come on your side of the lane, like 100%, because you can just keep killing her over and over and over again. But since you shoved it, you're actually helping her. And you're shoving it again. I know your Tiamat will proc AoE damage, but it should take a lot longer for it to get anywhere where she would be comfortable, basically. See, she can't even stay near you now. So imagine if she tried to come on your side of the lane. Like, she would just be absolutely fucked. I know you're still getting the kills because she's just being stupid, but wave management. We gotta get your wave management up and all that. I think she has TP. She has TP on her respawn, which you should know now too. Yep, she's TPing up there. So you're going back, which is good. You got 30 CS and 2 kills on her. If your jungler's on your side of the map, then it's a lot more beneficial for you to push and try to get the turret, because you have backup in case you do get ganked. But again, it's a Karthus, so it's not like a heavy heavy ganking jungler, even though this guy seems to be pretty good at hitting his Qs. But you're basically giving her almost every piece of farm that she could want, because you're not denying her anything right now. And there's no benefit to you doing this. You should literally every chance you get challenge her to fucking come to your side of the lane to try to get any bits of farm. Because you can still last hit every one. You're not going to miss any last hits at this point with your items. And just imagine every time that she tried to come on this side for anything, you literally do that to her. And if there's no turret, you just murder her every time. But since you keep pushing, like obviously Karth Assault helped you get her out of lane, you're gonna get this turret now. But you could be up more CS. You'd still have the same amount of CS, but she'd probably have like 15 less. And you also have a 200 gold shutdown on your head. So you get the kill, but you're giving her 200 bonus gold for doing this. Like, the shutdowns are really important to pay attention to. Because it's just free gold. You could have easily just taken this turret. Let's just double check. You also have Sheen, so you could be like casting a spell to get procs on this too. Yeah, you should have like just fucking used the spell. Cause you could have killed this turret so fast with a Sheen proc. But this is something that we talk about a lot. Like you just you wanted that kill probably so you could finish Trinity, but you're giving her an extra 200 gold when you have the absolute advantage on her. Like there's no reason. Just keep leaning on her. You don't have to do everything at once. Like you didn't get the turret now, and she got an extra 200 gold. She wins that trade overall. Even though you're still stronger than her, she still won the trade because she traded 1 for 1 and you had a bounty on your head. Just got to look at all those little details all the time now. Um, so yeah, the main point for you would be learning how to control the waves, um, not always pushing the wave basically to their side because it really fucks you over in a lot of cases. It'll fuck you over if you have the winning matchup because you're just making it easier for them to CS. Even if their turret does take a little bit of damage, you're making it extremely easy for them to in the early levels is what I mean, be able to CS under their turret or just on their heavily on their side of the lane instead of just basically getting the level advantage zoning, or if you're at the disadvantage and they fuck up and push it to your side, you should take the levels it takes for you to basically catch up. Because as soon as you got to like 5 and 6, you started beating her 1 versus 1, but you also had like a 15 to 20 CS lead, so you finish your team up before her, and your item advantage won. You did a good job of noticing when you were about to hit level 7 over her 6, which would have gave you a spike and an advantage as well on top of your item. If it's an equal matchup, though, like items and levels, Fiora probably still beat you until the mid part of the game if you can survive that long of being even. Um, but you'd really just got to start thinking about your wave management um, and not over pushing it so it's always on their side. Because it just makes it, especially early ganks, really easy to get to you. And even if you don't die, you're losing your flash, and now you have to be defensive. And those games where you blow your flash early because of an early gank, whether you die or not, it's usually when the wave's on their side. So now you're without flash and the wave's on their side of the lane and you're fucked. So then you have this long drawn out um, part of the game where you basically feel like you're useless, and in the 1 versus 1 you are in a big way, but you still can impact the team fight if you continue to find ways to just get resources and not basically screw yourself over by always extending the wave to their side of the lane. So really work on thinking about that as you're doing it. Like you don't always have to um, feel like you have to use a spell to last hit or just push. I know we talk about tempo and stuff, but tempo comes when you guys are working together a lot of the time, where you're two versus twos or three versus threes in the early parts of the game. And then we really got to get you working on some TP plays, and I'll probably go over that when I look at some laning from the bot lane, so we can start working on getting some aggressive teleport plays.